They should. Yes. You go sit or sit down or?
No.
Until later.
They always have smiles.
I know, exactly. They act like they're happy to be here, which is pretty impressive.
Oh no, this is my leftover. You got it, right? Oh. Why am I being demoted? No.
That's a famous line from a horror movie, one of the originals. Frankenstein. Oh, dragon. Taylor Lucy answers the door and he says, Mr. Green. I'd have to stand up and talk. Just shove trash in there. You were watching, waiting for you to open. You're like a fourth grader.
Here, would you like this one? Nope, I'll use my script.
Fourth grader.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Ms. Lees, will you call the roll?
Mr. Ayr,
Present.
Mr. Boyce, Mr. Davis,
Present.
Mr. O'Connor,
Present.
Mr. Peterson,
Here.
Mr. Schwartz, Mr. Smith,
Present.
Mr. Sparks,
Present.
Ms. Wiles.
Present.
Madam President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. May I have approval of the executive session memorandum from November 9th, 2022?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the memorandum from November 9th. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 6 in favor, 1 abstention. Approval of minutes from the November 9th council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from November 9th. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Again, 6 in favor, 1 abstention. Approval of the agenda.
Madam President,
Mr. Smith.
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 7-0. Great. Petitions or comments by citizens who are present. I have one comment card. If there's anyone else who would like to speak, please fill out a card and hand it to the clerk. And the first who I have is Chris Moore, who would like to come up and speak. Please state your name and your address when you come up.
Good evening. My name is Chris Moore, and I live at 2023 North Harbor Drive. And the reason I'm here this evening is to take up just a very little bit about your time to tell you about a local business called On Point Indiana Ballet. I've lived in the community almost my entire life. I graduated from Noblesville High School, and I'm here to tell you about the performances that we'll be doing at Noblesville High School on December 16th and 17th. We will also be performing this year at the Noblesville tree lighting, which, as you know, is coming up even sooner than that. The reason I wanted to share with you is because we've been living a passion of ours for the last 6 years of actually bringing professional level talent and professional performances to Noblesville. And I don't know that you guys know, but we actually have dancers that come from all over the world to train with us. So I have them from New Mexico, I have them from Colorado, I have them from Las Vegas, I've had them from as far as Japan. So when we do a performance, it is not a dance recital. It is not anything other than a full-blown professional production. And I'm basically doing everything in my power to try to share with the city of Noblesville what it is that we are attempting to do and to build right here in our hometown. And if you're wondering why we have put this energy into this, it's because my brother Rob, who is the artistic director along with his wife Pollyanna Ribeiro, is also from Noblesville. They could have opened this school anywhere. They were offered to go to San Francisco. They were offered to go to Rio de Janeiro. My brother wanted to do it right here where he got his start in Noblesville. So I am just here. I think I've personally invited everyone that I'm staring at, and I would like to personally invite everyone that is behind me. If you've not seen what we do, I'm just begging you to come one time, because I think you'll really, really love it. And we would love to bring, once again, professional performances in theater to Noblesville. I think the arts are a very important part of what we do. The last thing that I'll say is during a climate and time when people seem to have forgotten what it's like to actually talk to each other, dance and the arts can actually communicate without having to talk. And so it doesn't really matter sometimes what you believe, because if you watch a really good performance, you'll walk away with a feeling that you'll feel, and you'll never forget it. So thank you for your time, and I just simply brought you a flyer to share, if I may.
Wonderful.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do I just leave this? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Great. Council committee reports. First committee is the Downtown District, and that would be Mr. Smith.
Yes, Madam President, we met on November 16th. Brian Ayr, Darren Peterson, Megan Wiles, and myself were present. We touched on a myriad of topics, wrapping up the year. First, Kelly McVeigh came in from the Indiana Peony Festival and gave us a recap of the past 2 years and where she's planning to go next May with the third Peony Festival. Of note, she said Duke Energy is planning to double the size of the Peony Trail with more plantings, and she shared more of the partnerships that she's undertaking with local businesses to stimulate the economy downtown Noblesville. We also got a few of the updates from the administration on downtown project. Lofts on 10th will have asphalt installed the week after Thanksgiving. She also stated that the village of Federal Hill will see demolition of the Wendy's restaurant very soon, which has already happened. We also just went over a few of the projects that have been completed since we last met. The Bridge of Flowers and the crosswalks down on Maple Street were of note there. She shared that there is also NDOT reconstruction coming to Connor Street. That's a big project that will take up a lot of the summer next year. That is really important, that I'm sure engineering is talking about in roads committee, but it was also brought up in downtown district since it will impact a lot of the downtown area. We will be communicating our part on behalf of the city, but that is, as a reminder to everybody, that is a state project, so we will do the best that we can to communicate on our end, but NDOT will also be a stakeholder in that. And in that process, the bicentennial, which Noblesville will be celebrating in July, has been taken into account. We talked about some of the updates to the alleys. The footers have been installed in the East Alley. It's actually a project that came in under budget. We also talked about the enhancements that are coming to the South Alley, and those were discussed and moved forward. The administration will be taking that on. We touched on projects that we want to look at in 2023, and since that was our last meeting for the year, we left it at that.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions of Mr. Smith?
So is Kelly thinking of moving from Seminary Park to a different location?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Staying at Seminary Park.
Because I think that's the right place to have it.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to work out pretty well.
Really well.
Okay. Hearing nothing else, we will move on to the Finance Committee report. Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Madam President. We met November 17th. Greg O'Connor, Aaron Smith, and myself. Amy Smith discussed economic development area bond authorization for promenade trails. Andrew Murray discussed with us economic development agreement with Indiana Joint Replacement Institute. Jeff Spalding talked about an appropriation transfer and financial consulting and audit services we're doing. Brandon Bennett and Gary Deacon from the Parks Department and Park Board talked to us on an update of all the park programs and the fund and the annual status report. And Ian Zalgowski gave us an update on the third quarter financial status report. That and the claims come to the council with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you very much. Any questions of Mr. Davis, of Finance Committee?
Madam President,
Mr. O'Connor.
I would move we approve the claims as submitted.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the claims as submitted. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 7-0. All right. Mayor Jensen, would you care to share anything with us this evening?
Briefly, Madam President, good evening. Great to be with all of you this evening. A few items of note I wanted to bring to your attention. One is a mediocre thing, and the rest is all good news. So hang with me through the mediocre thing. Allie Krupski's behind burning a hole in my head. There is next week our newest roundabout at State Road 32 and State Road 38, adjacent to Riverview Hospital. We'll be undergoing some construction with the pouring of some of the curbs next week. So there will be, we were just notified this morning that NDOT, which is owning this project, will be coming in and doing some partial closures of that roundabout throughout the week next week. We think it'll be a very limited time frame that there'll be closures. East and westbound traffic will remain open at all times. It may just affect some north and southbound traffic at that. We will be on top of it over the weekend and later this week, obviously through the holiday, as soon as we get final indications from NDOT to let the public know. But as you can imagine, concrete right now is at a premium. And these are, a lot of these projects around the state are kind of as they come in and concrete's available, they're going to have to move quickly. So we are, as was suggested earlier, doing our best to communicate with the public as much as possible, as quickly as possible. But there will be some impediment to traffic there at State Road 32 and 38. We've already been in contact with Riverview Hospital. They're well aware of the plans as well, and luckily have pretty good makeshift plans that they've executed on over the past several months anyway. So there'll just be a minor inconvenience next week. On to the good stuff. Obviously, there's a lot of things happening in the city of Noblesville over the next several days and week and a half. On Thursday, obviously, happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. The Turkey Trot will be back in person in town, Noblesville, benefiting the Michael Trinan Foundation and Riley Children's Hospital. I know several of you have been involved with that, or your spouses. Mike Davis's wife, Bobby, is on the board there of that great organization. The Jensen family will be down there running it that morning as well in downtown Noblesville, so come out, enjoy, and burn off at least a small portion of what I'll consume or you'll consume later in the day on Thursday morning. Small Business Saturday is happening on Saturday. Noblesville, in my opinion, is rooted in its small businesses. The small businesses make up really the backbone of our economy in the city of Noblesville. And on Saturday, we will feature them in conjunction with Noblesville Main Street. So please come out and support our small businesses. I learned today that $48 for every $100 you spend at a small business goes back into the community, versus normally if that's a $14 figure if you're buying from a larger department store. So think about that as you're investing in your community on Saturday, and hopefully each and every day throughout the holidays, made easier by the fact that we, starting November 25th, will make downtown parking free in the city of Noblesville. This is something we've done every single year, although I would say that parking is oftentimes free in downtown Noblesville, but that's another council session for another day. But the Orange Lot, as well as the Levinson and the 2-hour hashtag around the square will not only be timeless or not max out on time, but also will not cost any, there'll be no dollars associated with parking in any of the Levinson or the Orange Lot, and there will not be a 2-hour time limit in the downtown. So hopefully not every employee just heard me say that, and shoppers hear me say that, and so they can come down and have no reason not to come down and spend time and money in downtown Noblesville, starting November 25th, running through the end of the year. Also on Small Business Saturday, that evening, in conjunction with our friends at the county commissioners and the county, and sponsored by the Noblesville Chamber of Commerce, will be the lighting of the courthouse square. Starting at 6 o'clock will be the indoor program featuring many choirs. On Point, that was just mentioned here, will be there to perform as well. And then move outside at 7:15 for the lighting of the Christmas tree and the courthouse as well. Next weekend, so not this coming weekend, but next weekend will be First Friday in downtown Noblesville in conjunction with our friends at Noblesville Main Street. There'll be great merchant opportunities in downtown on that Friday evening, highlighted by our Lights Over Seminary experience, which we kicked off several years ago, which I think has been a quick hit in downtown Seminary Park. I think is one of our hidden treasures that more and more people are seeing because of the Peony Festival and because of Lights Over Seminary. So come out and join us as we light up Seminary Park, and I will be reading the night before Christmas with kids there starting about 6 o'clock. So please come and join all of us in downtown Noblesville. And then also that weekend will be our annual Santa Tour, as we take Santa Claus not only through downtown, but throughout the entire city as we bring him through all the neighborhoods. On Saturday will be the neighborhoods on the east side of the White River, and then on Sunday will be the west side of the White River, which with the traditional parade route through downtown at 2 p.m. on Saturday. So if you like to come and line Logan Street or 9th Street, please come and do that on Saturday. We've invited several of our community partners and not-for-profits can join us for free, and they still can sign up if they visit cityofnoblesville.org/holidays to learn more. I have done that on several videos today, and that's why I'm so well versed in my internet lingo for you. So anyways, a lot of information, but I want to tell you there's a lot going on in Noblesville. There's no reason for you to ever leave. So please stay in Noblesville, spend your money, eat, dine, and bring your friends. So thank you, Madam President. I am certainly thankful for all of you and the opportunity to serve the citizens of Noblesville. Happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you, Mayor. Any questions of Mayor Jensen?
If I flood you with information, you won't ask questions. That's good. Thank you so much.
Hashtag Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. We will move on to previously discussed ordinances. Council to consider ordinance number 67-11-22. An ordinance authorizing the issuance of the City of Noblesville, Indiana, taxable economic development revenue bonds, and authorizing and approving other actions in respect thereto as amended. Mrs. Smith, good evening.
Good evening. This ordinance authorizes the issuance of bonds pursuant to the Economic Development Agreement for the River West project. As a reminder, this project redevelops the real estate located at the northwest corner of 146th Street and River Road with a mixed-use development. The bonds will be issued in 3 series for an aggregate not to exceed $13,870,000. This item was presented to Finance Committee and received a favorable recommendation. Since the introduction, one change was made to correct the name of the developer, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions of Mrs. Smith?
Madam President,
Mr. O'Connor?
I would move that we approve ordinance 67-11-22 as amended.
First,
Or you gotta amend it, sorry. I'll make a motion to amend ordinance 67-11-22.
second?
It has been moved and seconded to approve the amendment to ordinance 67-11-22 as presented. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 7-0. Now, Mr. O'Connor.
Madam President, I move to approve ordinance 67-11-22 as amended.
Second?
It has been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 67-11-22 as amended. This is a roll call vote. Ms. Lees.
Mr. Air,
Aye.
Mr. Davis,
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor,
Aye.
Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Sparks,
Aye.
Ms. Wiles.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nay, the ordinance is approved.
Thank you very much.
Council to consider ordinance number 71-11-22, an ordinance adopting a preliminary development plan, an ordinance within the corporate campus plan development district for approximately 25 acres to be known as the Village at Hyde Park, southeast of East 141st Street and Maryland Road, as amended. Ms. Shelton.
Good evening. At your last meeting, obviously this was introduced. Again, it is approximately 25 acres. It is for the development of single-family homes. There will be 1, 2, and 3-bedroom homes. Most of the units will be single-story ranch. The 1-bedroom homes will be duplex units. There are several amenities in this area, including a community center, a fitness center, a pool, a spa, barbecue areas, a dog park. There was also a sign package submitted that we reviewed. The Plan Commission stipulated that pine trees would be planted along the southern property line adjacent to the property owner immediately to the south in the area that they abut. This ordinance was sent to you with a favorable recommendation for adoption by a 9-0 vote. The amendment to this ordinance basically includes the preliminary development plan as opposed to just the colored rendering drawing. So that was what the amendment was.
Any questions of Ms. Shelton?
Madam President, no real questions, but I did want to make a comment. I have had the opportunity to actually tour and set foot on an Empire project in Goodyear, Arizona, which I happen to be familiar with. And the project itself is very well laid out. It is a gated community, and the thing that's a little unique about this is these are all horizontal in nature as opposed to vertical, so you do have kind of a feel of kind of a more of a single-family residential environment as opposed to multifamily perhaps, but very well maintained. The amenity center was terrific. The pool was well designed, and so fortunately enough for me, I was able to lay eyes on it and see it, and frankly, one of our fellow council members from years back's daughter lived in one of these units, and they're very well appointed. They've got doggy doors for your dog to go in and out, and so there's some nice conveniences there, but I think that it would fit in very well in the Hyde Park area, given what we were trying to design in that vicinity. So I just thought I'd share that because I've physically been able to actually go through and do a tour. And the folks at Empire are excited about being up this way too. I think most of their work's been in the Southwest, but I think this product will do well in the Noblesville market.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments for Ms. Shelton? I do see that Mr. Schinover is here, so are there any questions of the petitioner? Seeing none?
Madam President,
Mr. Smith?
I would move that we amend ordinance number 71-11-22 as presented.
Second?
It has been moved and seconded to amend ordinance 71-11-22 as presented. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 7-0.
Madam President,
Mr. Smith?
I move that we approve ordinance number 71-11-22.
Second?
As amended.
As amended. Second?
It has been moved and seconded to approve ordinance 71-11-22 as amended. This is a roll call vote. Ms. Lees?
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor.
Aye.
Mr. Peterson.
Aye.
Mr. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Sparks.
Nay.
Mr. Ayer.
Nay.
Ms. Wiles.
Aye.
5 aye, 2 nay. The ordinance is approved.
Thank you very much. Council to consider ordinance number 72-11-22. An ordinance amending ordinance number 28-05-15, establishing a municipal riverfront development project area with the city of Noblesville. Mr. Head.
Good evening, council. For the record, Aaron Head, Community Engagement Manager for the city of Noblesville. And being the greatest city in Indiana, as we all know, it comes with some great opportunities for redevelopment projects and expanding our downtown core. And with that, we have a project within what we call the Riverfront Redevelopment District, which is the Lofts on 10th. Previously was residential properties that was not part of that Riverfront Redevelopment District. So as you can see on the map right here, in the striped red are the parcels that we would add to this map. And this allows the project to entice restaurants and entertainment type venues for their project, and is an incentive for them to be able to lease their commercial spaces on the first floor. And this is second reading, and the planning department is recommending approval.
Thank you. Any questions of Mr. Head?
Madam President,
Mr. Smith?
I move that we approve ordinance number 72-11-22.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 72-11-22 as presented. This is a roll call vote. Ms. Lees?
Mr. O'Connor.
Aye.
Mr. Peterson.
Aye.
Mr. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Sparks.
Aye.
Mr. Ayer.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Wiles.
Aye.
7 aye, 0 nay. The ordinance is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will move on to new ordinances for discussion. Council to consider ordinance number 73-11-22, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of the City of Noblesville, Indiana, taxable economic development revenue bonds, Series 2022, and authorizing and approving other actions in respect thereto.
Move to introduce.
Second.
Good evening, Mrs. Smith.
Good evening again. This ordinance, along with the resolution that will be presented later tonight, are the next steps in carrying out the commitments of the Economic Development Agreement with Justice at Promenade Senior LLC that was approved at the September 27th council meeting. This project is located at the northwest corner of State Road 32 and Mill Creek, and will include 59 cottage rental homes and 151 apartment units with related amenities for residents 55 and better. The ordinance authorizes the issuance of bonds that we purchased by the developer in an amount not to exceed $1,900,000. The proceeds of the bonds will be used to construct the stormwater improvements and a multi-use path along Mill Creek Road. The bond has a maximum interest rate of 8% and will be financed over 9 years. During this period, 100% of the TIF revenue will be pledged to debt service. During years 10 through 25, the city will capture and retain the TIF revenue, which will total approximately $7.3 million. The item was presented to Finance Committee and received a favorable recommendation, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Mrs. Smith? Okay, if not, see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Miscellaneous item number 1. Council to consider resolution RC-51-22, a resolution approving 1, a declaratory resolution and economic development plan of the Redevelopment Commission establishing the Noblesville Justice Senior Housing Economic Development Area, and 2, the order of the Plan Commission. Mrs. Smith.
Hello again. This resolution establishes the Noblesville Justice Senior Housing Economic Development Area for the Promenade Trails Senior Living Community located at the northwest corner of State Road 32 and Mill Creek Road, and approves the order of the Plan Commission that was approved at last night's Plan Commission meeting. The site will be removed from the Hazeldale Economic Development Area Promenade Allocation Area to create the new Noblesville Justice Senior Housing Economic Development Area. As I mentioned earlier, 100% of the TIF revenue will be pledged to the project for debt service payments. This item was presented to Finance and did receive a favorable recommendation, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions of Mrs. Smith?
Madam President,
Mr. O'Connor.
I would move that we approve resolution RC-51-22 as presented.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve resolution RC-51-22 as presented. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 7-0.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much. Miscellaneous item number 2. Council to consider resolution RC-52-22, a resolution approving an economic development agreement with IJRI Properties LLC. Mrs. Reed.
Hello, surprise. I am subbing in for Mr. Murray this evening, so you'll have to imagine him when you hear the words you're about to hear. He left me a wonderful folder to have all the resources you guys need for tonight. So before you this evening, I'm pleased to present an economic development agreement and project proposed partnership with Indiana Joint Replacement Institute. Our partner, Dr. Michael Meneghini, who is with us tonight along with Jennifer Fry, and his development team, launched this institute in May, which continues a 17-year tradition of elite hip and knee replacement care across the state and nation, and they wish to locate in a state-of-the-art facility right here in Noblesville. To quickly orient you, for those of you who aren't aware, the subject property is 6.5 acres in size, currently owned by the city. It's one of the remaining leftover Borg Warner incentivized project parcels, and it's on the southeast corner of Oleo Road, highlighted in red on this map. As you will notice, this is a gateway location into our Innovation Mile district that you guys have heard so much about. We feel that the quality and use of the architecture, and they set a tone for the district and future development. Go ahead and show you those. Not that way. So there's the front of the building. And there's another entrance. We'll just leave that one up for now. In addition, we're excited about this project and the alignment it has with our city policies and core values, including providing compassionate service, providing an elite experience with superior outcomes that produce high quality of life and happiness, and lastly, innovation. We are certainly excited about the alignment and visions that have both a heavy emphasis on quality and innovation. Innovation is at the forefront of this project through its innovative orthopedic processes, research and technology for hip and knee replacement, which we are confident will be a benefit to the Noblesville economy, but also on a regional, national, and global scale. Just a little bit about this project. It's a 2-story medical office surgery center. It has an increased use of glass and corner breaks. That's the architecture piece that demonstrate a more modern design while also committing and complementing to the surrounding landscape. There are 4 operating rooms, 16 pre- and post-operative bays, x-ray, physical therapy, and 20 to 24 exam rooms. They also have a dedicated research and development component, which is a unique space. $28 million in total capital investment and 52 high-paying, high-quality jobs. The city's role in this incentive is we're offering the land plus a 10-year personal property abatement. From a timing perspective, that target is to work through the winter months on permits, and provided that the entitlement process is as quick as it is, anticipate a 2-year construction before occupancy. Procedurally speaking, we vetted this proposal with Chairman Davis and the Finance Committee, and it comes to you with a favorable recommendation from that group. In closing, I will conclude that Dr. Meneghini would like to come up and have a few more words on this project and tell you a little bit more about himself and his business and his team. We're very excited to welcome him and happy for the collaboration we've had so far. Thank you. Would you like me to leave the architecture up? You're welcome. I'll leave that up for now.
If you'll please state your name and your address.
Sure, Michael Meneghini. My address is 11411 Forest Knoll Circle in Fishers. So, first of all, good evening. It is an absolute pleasure to be partnering the city of Noblesville. So I'm married into a Noblesville family. So my wife, Sarah, graduated here. She was born and raised here. She was born in Riverview Hospital. Her father owned the foundry here in the 80s and 90s. Her mother was director of nursing of one of the nursing homes here. And so it's a long history. So I'm thrilled to be part of this community by marriage. Which, as you know, is probably very, very important. I also, without stating names or ages directly, because I know better than that, I get to see pictures frequently on Facebook of the mayor at Disney with his family, knowing the rich Noblesville history that is here. So, a little about me: I'm a hip and knee surgeon. I'm a Hoosier. I was born and raised in Terre Haute, so don't hold that against me. I've been at Indiana University for since 2010, so for 12 years. I left 3 months ago, just due to a parting of ways and a difference in vision. I have taken a lot of pride in building a nationally recognized hip and knee center. You probably can see it right across from that property at I-69 called the IU Hip and Knee Center. I was very, very proud and honored to be only the second destination center in all of IU Health, the first one being the Simon Cancer Center. So the parting of ways was tragic, but with that comes great opportunity, and the opportunity to build an independent, statewide, and nationally recognized hip and knee center was an awesome opportunity. And through exploring different opportunities, Noblesville could not have been a better partner in this. And it's been great with the mayor, Andrew, and the team. Our goal is to start 2 sites, just so you understand the vision of this project. The first 2 sites, one will be in Fort Wayne, one will be in my hometown of Terre Haute, while we're building the flagship here. The flagship has state-of-the-art gait lab. We do a ton of research. We publish more orthopedic research than almost anyone in the Midwest outside of Mayo Clinic, who are my good colleagues because I did my fellowship there. And we have visitors come from all over the world. We work very closely with the orthopedic implant companies to help them design new and innovative implants for hip and knee replacement for patients. So we're excited to partner here. We're thrilled. We're hoping that you'll not do anything to slow this down, because the sooner we can get into that building, the better off we will be, and we're excited to do so as soon as possible. I'm happy to answer any questions you all have about what we're doing here.
Any questions?
So
Mr. O'Connor.
Thanks for being here, and thanks for making the investment here. So you want to stick a shovel in the ground as quickly as you can, I take it?
I do. Yeah, currently, my entire team, who's been with me for over a decade, we currently get up every morning and drive to Terre Haute, do our work, and come back. We're launching that strategically on the Indiana-Illinois border. It's a perfect location. There's not too much between Indianapolis and St. Louis. So we've done a fair amount of market research understanding the impact of that. Same thing in Fort Wayne, second biggest market for healthcare in the state of Indiana. A lot of opportunity to bring down costs and improve care. While we're going to both of those places, though, we would love to get the flagship built. This will be the hub. This will be the center. Those will be spokes, but this will be the center of innovation and the center of healthcare across the state. So sooner we can get this off the ground, the better off we'll be.
So is Fort Wayne operating? Is it open?
As of last week, first surgery, yes.
Terrific.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure you're looking for many cases to come through the doors.
There's a lot of people in this state and in the country who need hip and knee replacement. So I don't think we're worried. All of our market research says the demand is not the issue. It's basically putting great facilities that offer a world-class experience at, it's not low cost, but it's at a reasonable cost. It doesn't stress the healthcare system, as you know, that's it's got a share of issues right now in the United States, and we want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
That's terrific. Be great to have world-class medical facilities. It brings people here, so looking forward to seeing the ribbon cutting.
We all are. It'd be great. We all are. It'd be great.
Other questions or comments? I will just say that I think that this will be a wonderful addition to our Innovation Mile and a beautiful entry to that whole area. As an employee of another healthcare system, I'm going to abstain from voting on this issue, but it's not that we're not interested.
Understand.
Here.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Madam President,
Mr. Smith.
I move to approve Resolution RC-52-22.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve Resolution RC-52-22. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 6, and 1 abstention. Resolution is approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Council to consider Resolution RC-53-22, a resolution concerning land acquisition. Ms. Kowski.
Good evening. In front of you, you have a land acquisition resolution. This is for 2 projects that are upcoming. So the first project is 141st and Promise Road. This is a project that is scheduled for construction in 2024. As a reminder, we did receive $1.86 million from the MPO for this project, so we're really excited about it. But there are 4 parcels that will require acquisition. They are the 4 quadrants around the intersection. None of these require, there's just land, and it's a small amount of land. There are no homes that will be relocated or demolished as a part of this project. And we've been in contact with all of the homeowners. They've definitely got messages from us, and we've reached out to them. And so we're not expecting huge issues with those. The next intersection is 161st. It's actually not an intersection. The next crossing is 161st over a Vestal Ditch. This is on 161st between Seminole and Cherry Tree. This culvert is on our 5-year replacement plan in our new small structure inventory that the city just finished 2 years ago. And so it is in need of replacement. The county is also coming through and doing some ditch repairs along that way. So the timing was perfect for us to get this project completed. There are 2 parcels that we will need to acquire as a part of this project as well. I recommend the council approve this resolution, and happy to answer any questions that you have.
Any questions of Mrs. Kowski?
Just a comment, I'm pleased we got the MPO money to help assist with this woefully inadequate interchange. I mean, at 141st and Promise, you get on there at any point in time and it's busy. So
It'll be a great improvement for the city.
2024, right?
Construction, open 2025.
With that, I'd move to approve RC-53-22 as presented.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve Resolution RC-53-22 as presented. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Council to consider transfer TA-13-22, an appropriation transfer in the general fund to allocate funding for costs associated with the State Board of Accounts 2021 audit. Mr. Zolgowski, good evening.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the council. Ian Zolgowski, Deputy Financial Officer for the city. What you have in front of you this evening is a request to transfer funds, not funds, but rather appropriation authority within the Office of Finance and Accounting in the amount of $55,000 to be moved from our Series 100 or personal services to our Series 300 services and other charges. This $55,000 is directly related to the 2021 annual comprehensive financial report. It was a necessary report. It was a large and expensive report. We had done our best to budget the cost of this report in our 2022 budget. We were overly optimistic about what those actual costs would end up being, and they have come in over budget. Fortunately, we're not asking for any additional money. We do have savings in our Series 100 personal services due to vacancy rates in a couple of positions. So we're just asking for the authority to use those funds to cover the 2021 audit costs.
Any questions of Mr. Zalgowski?
Madam President,
Mr. O'Connor?
I would move that we approve transfer number 1 as submitted.
Second?
It has been moved and seconded to approve transfer TA-13-22 as presented. This is a handbook. All those raise your right hand. 7-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too.
Thank you.
Okay. That comes to the end of our agenda. Any council comments this evening?
Just happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Be
Thanksgiving.
safe if you're traveling, but as the mayor said, you don't need to leave town.
And I will just make a comment that Mr. Boyce is not here with us this evening because he is a member of the cast of Sound of Music that is opening this weekend at the Ivy Tech Performing Arts Theater. That's in conjunction with the Belfry. So again, as Mr. Ayer always says, if you can't find something to do in the city of Noblesville, you're not looking very hard. So we hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving and comes out and supports the businesses and organizations of the city of Noblesville. Thank you all very much. Good evening.